Welcome. So good to have you. So today we're going to be using blocks for one thing. So if you have a block or two, as always, they're just handy to have close by, but today we will be using it. I've pulled out my foam blocks just because they're a little lighter. If you have both, great. If you have one or the other, use what you have. It's all good. There's lots of options within that. We're continuing on our theme of love is the way, lingering in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, this beautiful love chapter. And this week it's been around the theme of love does not boast. And as I've been meditating on that myself, I was just really considering this idea of needing to prove ourselves, or for me, needing to prove myself in some way. And I just wondered if that could be part of our opening meditation. And so I just invite you to get comfortable. We'll stay in a simple seat. As always, feel free to use a blanket or block underneath your tailbone just to allow yourself to sit up a little taller and to find that comfortable space. And then allow yourself to soften. Just softening. Noticing if there are any areas, just even in your body this morning as you arrive, that maybe feel a little bit like bracing. A little bit like needing to show up and kind of hold it together. I know for me there's always that tendency in these situations, simply because of the online format and some of the challenges that brings. And so the invitation is just as much for myself to really surrender any sense of performance, any sense of needing to prove my worth or value, but to really come to this time with the Lord in our bodies, in our minds, and in our emotional state as simply as we can manage. So just allow yourself to find some nice slow, deep inhales and longer, slower exhales, whatever it takes to help you find that spacious place, that awareness of softening. If it's helpful for you to add a little bit of counting, sometimes that can help to kind of override any of the mental chatter. If your mind feels busy right now, you may want to try inhaling for the count of 4. And then exhaling, releasing all the way to 6 or maybe even 8. So inhaling for 4. And exhaling to 8. One more time, deep breath in to the count of 4. And slowly releasing to the count of 8. Good. And then from here, just begin to add some gentle seated cat-cows, drawing your chin to your chest as you round through the spine, just releasing any tension in the neck and shoulders here. And then sitting up tall, moving through that straight space, that stacked variation, to a little lift in the chest, a little gaze upward. And allow your breath to lead here. So fully exhaling before you tuck and round. And then beginning your inhale as you then start to move forward to that seated cow pose. And just make it really slow and smooth, feeling every vertebrae getting an opportunity for some movement here. Noticing your shoulder blades just sliding back and forth along your back body. And just imagining again this softening of any sense of bracing, of holding, of performing, and just allowing yourself to settle. Just arriving as you are. I was considering the scripture today. Just continue with that cat-cow from Jeremiah. This is chapter 9, reading from verse 23 to 24. This is what the Lord says. Let not the wise man boast of his wisdom, or the strong man boast of his strength, or the rich man boast of his riches, but let him who boasts boast about this, that he understands and knows me, that I am the Lord who exercises kindness, justice, and righteousness on earth. For in these I delight, declares the Lord. So maybe just begin to move, do some gentle circles in your body, in your torso, just creating a circle around your hips, just changing the direction of movement here. Again, really slow, smooth inhales, long, slow exhales, and then change direction. And so God, that is our desire this morning, that we would just check in with ourselves and allow you to illuminate any area where you are inviting us to soften, to just release any expectation on ourselves or from others to perform, to produce, to show up in a certain way. God, would you show us in our bodies how it feels to live and move and have our being in you. Just go ahead and sit up tall, maybe bringing your palms upward. How it feels to just simply be present to the moment, to honor what is true and honest within us right now. And so we just welcome you today by your grace. Would you empower our practice? Would you illuminate our minds? Would you help us find delight in the things that delight you? We love you and we are grateful. Amen. Good. So just relax your shoulders again, maybe rolling them back and down, and invite you just to find your right foot. We're just going to take our thumbs right along the ball of the foot and just gently massage. So sort of at the base of the toes and then making your way down through the arch. Just checking in with your own foot, how things are feeling. Giving yourself a little opportunity in a very gentle way just to wake up the surface of the foot and the muscles surrounding the whole area. And then there's a little really gentle technique. I've heard it called break the popsicle. For either your hand or your foot, you're just going to bring your thumbs and then your hands are along the top of the foot and just sort of pull your thumbs apart as though you're, the old school popsicles where there's two in one wrapper. You're going to kind of create that pulling apart motion and just really spread the ball of the foot, the arch of the foot out. Good. And then splay your toes wide. If it's comfortable for you, you can even interlace your fingers. Just giving yourself a little bit of a massage that way. Bringing your fingers between your toes, bit of a stretch that way. And then just offer some squeezing there as well. And then slowly release, and we'll just do the same thing on the other side. So you can have your left foot on the floor or on your other leg, whichever feels more comfortable. And then just begin again to first massage the ball of the foot, right at the base of the toes, the arch. And then take that gentle movement, kind of pulling the sides of the foot out as you press the top of the foot down. This breaking the popsicle movement, giving everything a nice stretch, really kind of pulling some of that fascia in a way that just stimulates it and wakes it up. Good. And then if you would like to do this as well, you can interlace your fingers between your toes, just creating that splay. You can also just actively splay your toes. Just create that little bit of a squeeze here. Spreading the toes wide. And then slowly release. And we'll just take both feet out long in front and just flex and point. Just waking up the ankle joints here. Good. And then create some circles outward. And then inward. So really getting into our feet just a little bit more today as a reference, as a place to focus. Good, and then quickly just alternating, so pointing and flexing on each side. Keeping your breath moving, sitting up tall, finding that ease in your body, feeling your calves start to warm up a little bit as well. Good, and then we'll just slowly make our way onto our knees. If you have that blanket there, you may want to keep it, especially if your mat is a little thin. This can just help with just reducing some of that pressure. We're just going to sit on our heels and just move through this simple movement of really what's the hip hinge. I'll just go sideways so you can see we're aiming to sit back in the chair and then sit ourselves up, so we're stacking our hips over our knees. And this is a nice place too if you want to take hold of your block just for a bit of a variety and change. You can bring your block to your chest and just squeeze your palms together. And this can kind of help also target the core. So sometimes when we add a little bit of counter pressure somewhere else, you're reminded of where to engage. So see if you can also think about drawing the low belly in towards the spine. And you can move through these a little more quickly like I am, or take it really slow and controlled, really warming up through the quadriceps and feeling this whole area in the front of the hip joint getting nice and warm. Good, so this is part of our getting up off the floor sequence. We've been working on this for a little while. All such good movements to help us build strength and stability in our hip joint. So you can keep your hands where they are. Next thing we'll do is we'll take our right foot out to the side. And this time I'm just going to bring it back. So this also requires a little more balance. So we'll just take 3, taking it back. And then on the last one, we'll move into that lunge. And this is where you get to control your range of motion in such a way that you're not finding yourself collapsing into the joint and having a hard time getting up out of it. See if you can maintain a nice smooth direction in both directions. So this sense of smooth, controlled movement. Energetically drawing your inner thighs together, staying strong in your core, and really using your right foot here and your heel to push up out of the floor to get you back. Nice, such good work for the hip joint, for stabilizing, for just building strength. We'll tuck back in and we'll do the same thing here. So find your stability first. So again, creating length in the waist, adding that little bit of pressure, and then slowly taking the left foot out and bringing it back. You can kind of shift your weight a little bit onto your right hip. That helps to just make your left leg feel a little lighter. I think I gave us one extra here on the last one. Same thing, we'll just add that really smooth lunge. Feeling that really active pushing up out of the floor, and a very controlled moving in as well. So not passively sliding, but feeling very energetically connected both directions. And keeping your breath moving. Nice. Let's just take one more. Good. And then we'll go ahead and draw your knees back together and turn yourself around just so that you're lengthwise on the mat. We'll stay here in tabletop shape. We'll be on our knees a little bit longer. If you like having that blanket underneath, feel free to keep it there. I'm going to move mine now. Bringing palms just outside of shoulders. Remembering that little gentle angle is helpful for many to create a little bit more comfort in the shoulder and in the arm. Push the floor away so you're feeling really engaged in the shoulders, strong in the core. Take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, we're going to bring the heel up towards the sky, right leg up. So finding this angle, like a 90-degree angle-ish. And from here, just adding a gentle pulse. We're just going to go for 5, 4. Stay strong in the shoulders for 3, for 2, and 1. Good. From here, some circles. We'll take our knee to the right and down. And you can make these small or big, but really considering this sensation of the top of the femur, the top of the leg bone, connecting in the hip joint, and getting this beautiful full range of motion. Nice. On the last one, I invite you to take your knee out to the side, and then we're going to step our foot down towards the outer edge of the mat. So coming into basically a lizard shape, you can begin to reach forward. And this again is a really nice place for 2 blocks underneath your palms. So send your weight forward, find some length in your spine, and then send the hips back. And see if you can really guide this movement using your core to direct your hips backwards. So it really becomes a core exercise that where we are also really mobilizing our hips and our hamstrings. Keeping long in the spine, and adjust the height of the blocks if you're wanting a little less range of motion so that you can keep that really slow, smooth, controlled movement. Inhaling as you reach down, exhaling as you hinge at the waist. Good, let's just pause here at this last stretch and just allow yourself to reach your gaze forward. So not tucking and rounding at this point. We're going to think more about a long spine, and if that means keeping a really bent knee, feel free to do that. Would rather see that with a nice sense of folding at the waist. You're going to get a really nice stretch, a really active stretch. Heel is pushing down and the toe is flexed, and just breathing here. Nice. And let's just go ahead and gently release. Last thing we'll do here is allow your left hand to come to the floor, to the block, and we'll add some rotations with our right shoulder. So you can keep the left knee down, or for a bit of a more active variation, take the left knee up off the floor. So we'll reach the right arm high. On your exhale, we're going to bring the elbow down towards the inside of the right knee. And maybe you find you can slide it all the way to the floor. So we're working towards that nice deep torso twist here, keeping our breath moving. This is so good for releasing tension in the low back, and really staying mobile in the upper shoulders, of getting rid of any of that hunching forward that can happen with our tech neck. So much of our movement is forward facing in our everyday lives. Good, last one there, and then slowly tap your knee down. We're just going to reach it forward. So taking your fingers long in front of you and then open it back. So just a bit of a different shoulder movement. Reach it forward and then guide your pinky finger back. Nice, one more time. Reach it back. Option on this last one to find a bend in the back knee. Maybe just drawing the heel in towards the glute, or maybe finding you can take hold of that back foot. Just pausing here. Maybe releasing any tension in your neck. And breathing for 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Slowly release. Bring your hand up all the way over. Plant your palms. And then make your way back into your tabletop. See if you can just bring your knee back to where it was. And let's just reset our spine a little bit, creating some length first of all. Take a deep breath in. On your exhale, tuck and round, finding your cat's back. Maybe tuck your toes under as well, just giving your feet a little stretch. And then we'll create some barrel rolls over to the left, dipping the chest down. Take it to the right, and then up. Just take 2 in each direction, and this can be a really deep move by creating that deep bend in your elbows. Or you can make it a little bit smaller, just focusing mostly on the spine and the shoulders. So just change directions. Notice what feels good and helpful in your body. Here is we're aiming to create some softness, to notice where maybe we've been bracing, kind of holding on without even knowing it. Good. Come on back to that nice, strong, firm tabletop position. Before we change sides, just invite you to do some wrist walks. So we'll take our fingers out to the outer edge of the mat, then towards your knees, then towards each other, and back to the front. And you can kind of take a little bit of rocking as you do this. Again, just creating a little more stability in our shoulders and our wrists, keeping connected with your breath and engaged in your core. So one more time with fingers back, and then towards each other, and then to the front. Last thing we'll do in this shape is just take the wrist face, palm up, I should say. So very deep stretch in the forearm here. Go really gently with this one. If this feels like you have a little bit more, you can begin to slowly, really slowly send your hips or your weight back. So you just feel that stretch a little bit more deeply. Good, slowly release. And change sides. So left palm is up. You can just feel the stretch just as it is there, or maybe you start to shift your shoulders and your hips back just a little, creating a bit of a deeper stretch here in the forearm and the front of the wrist. Nice. Well done. So take a nice deep breath in. Left leg comes long and then hinging at the knee. We'll do the same thing on this side. So begin with your setup, really finding that strength in the core. Stability in the palms, so not collapsing in the front body, but lifting up and out, and then adding this gentle pulse. So we're taking our heel up towards the sky for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. And then opening the knee out towards the left, we're going to draw some nice big circles. Or again, if you prefer them to feel a little smaller, you're still getting a beautiful rotation. Just notice what feels helpful in your body. See if you can maintain that nice bend in the knee, working into the hamstring. Good. One more time, and then this last one, pause as you open up to the left and reach the foot around, stepping it forward. Maybe find your blocks here, if that's helpful again, and come into that lizard shape. So the left foot is out towards the outer edge of the mat. Shoulders are facing forward. Take a deep breath in here. Good. And then as you exhale, we'll send the hips back. And just find that nice, smooth movement again from front to back. Staying connected in both directions. Creating length in your spine. Should feel a really nice stretch in the low back and a lot of stability and strengthening in the hips, the outer hips as well as the inner thighs. And maybe explore heights of the block on this side. Notice what feels more stable for you, what creates a better sense of both stability with control and a sense of softening. So you're not feeling rigid or tense to come into these shapes, but able to find some softness still. Nice. Good. Take one more and we'll just offer that sustained stretch. So again, thinking about gazing past the front of your mat, lengthening through the spine, and go ahead and take a really deep bend in that left knee if that helps you to maintain that nice flat back. Reaching it forward. Beautiful. Come on back to your low lunge. Find the setting of your block that feels stable, or you can keep your right hand to the floor. Back knee can stay down, or you can tuck the toe and lift the left leg up, and we'll open up. So reaching that left arm nice and high. On the exhale, bring your knee down towards the inside aspect of your knee, maybe coming down right to the floor. Open it wide, inhale, exhale, tucking your elbow down. So really deep twist through the torso here, working on keeping our low body more or less stable. So the torso, or the twist really comes from the waist up. Nice. One more. Lovely. And then from here, we'll open it up and reach it forward, like as long as you can. And then send the pinky finger back and reach it back. Now I've got knee up. You can bring your knee down for this one, whatever feels better. Just drawing like a nice big rainbow shape, opening up through the ribs. And then for this last one, option here to take a bend in the knee, maybe finding the top of the foot, or maybe just working this active strength by drawing the heel actively towards the glute. It's all good. I just noticed myself collapsing into my shoulders, so just remember to push the floor away still. And we'll just pause here for 3, 2, and 1. Good. Whew. It's a deep stretch. Go ahead and bring palms back to the floor. And then return left foot and left knee back under for cat-cow. Take some slow, smooth cat-cows here, just resetting the spine again. Nice. And then last thing we'll do here is come on back to our knees. Again, use the blanket if you want to. We'll do a very similar movement in but a different direction. So this time taking our right foot forward, and we're going to move towards stepping all the way up. So you can use your blocks to assist if that would feel more stable. If you have a chair or wall and want to work it that way, it's also great. And if you want to go hands-free, fun option is to use the block. So we're going to shift our weight forward, come onto your back toes, and then allow yourself to step it up. And we're going to do the same thing, just coming back down. So really slowly with control, send your hips back, come into that crescent lunge shape, tap the back knee down, return the hands to the floor if that feels more stable, and then draw the right knee back under your chest. Nice. So very small, simple movements. Not easy, and if you want to add more challenge just do it hands-free and really work towards that single leg strength. So we'll just take it to the left side. Option again to squeeze that block. Just creates a little bit of core stability and awareness. Take a deep breath in. Exhale as you take your left foot forward. Send your weight forward a little bit. Tuck the back toe. And then go ahead and stand it right up. Take a nice deep breath at the top. Exhale, send the hips back. Let the right toes feel a little lighter. Step it back to your crescent lunge. Tap the knee down. And then go ahead and find the floor. And just return your knees underneath of you. Bring your palms in front. You can take them on the block or leave them on the floor and just send your hips down into a nice child's pose here. Keeping your palms on the block just takes it a little deeper in the shoulders, so notice what feels helpful and good. Take a deep breath in. Really feeling your ribs expand, and exhale, soften. And again, inhaling. And exhaling to soften. Last option I'll offer here is puppy pose. So you'll just want to slide your hands forward slightly, allowing your hips to come up off your heels. Now, with palms on the blocks like this, it becomes a really deep stretch. If you have hands on the floor, it will look more like this. So maybe explore what would feel good today. And then we're going to move it into a more active stretch. So on your inhale, you'll fill your lungs, really feel your ribs expand. On your exhale, press into the blocks or the floor, and we're just going to lift the chest up so that your palms and shoulders are more in line. Really draw your low belly in, and then exhale, release. Take a breath in. Exhale to create that little bit of resistance, pushing the hands down. It's really deep, strong shoulder work. If it is feeling like too much, just make it really small in the child's pose with more of a bent elbow. And you can just take that movement, just a little bit of a smaller movement, just up and down like that. But again, we're just working on this active range of motion. And if you have it in you for one more, take a deep breath in, relaxing. And then as you exhale, push into the palms, create that active resistance, and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Slowly release. Let your hands come down to the floor. Take your knees wide this time and really soften into your child's pose. Maybe letting your forehead tap down on your block, if that would feel better. Just coming back into your breath. Maybe offering a soft bend in the elbows. And just begin to shift your hips from side to side, letting everything slow. Good. Fingertips reach forward. And then slowly make your way through a table and take your feet in front of you so you can come down onto your back. Maybe have your blocks close by towards your knees or hips, as we're just going to take some twists, and that can be a really nice supportive place to land. So just take a moment to open your shoulders, find that lift in the chest, and then just begin to draw your right knee in towards your chest. And just gently rock from side to side. Long, smooth inhales and exhales. And then when you're ready, just allow your right knee to come over towards the left side of your space, and maybe open the right arm long and wide. Really allow yourself just to relax into this twist. And just begin to check in again. What you sensed maybe was in your body, any areas that maybe feel like a little bit of a holding pattern, or any area where maybe you feel like there's some bracing, or even just a tendency towards that. And then just slowly release, changing sides, bringing your left knee in, taking your right leg long, just gently rocking your knee from side to side. Good. And then allow yourself to come over into that supported twist with your knee just landing on the block, if that's helpful. Opening your left shoulder wide, and just soften into this space here as well. Letting your chest open. You can always adjust the angle of your arm if that's feeling a little too intense in the front body. And just begin to slow your breath down again. taking a quick scan to notice that you're not gripping in your opposite hip or glute, that your wrists and your hands are relaxed, that your jaw is relaxed. Now you're able to just find this place of ease here. Good. One more nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, gently guide your left knee back. And we'll bring both knees in towards your chest. Just give yourself a few little circles with your knees. It's just such a nice little low back massage. You can kind of direct the pressure anywhere that feels good. Maybe just rocking from side to side. And then give yourself a final squeeze, drawing everything in, feeling that deep awareness of tension and muscular contraction. And then as you exhale, just let everything go. Find that place of rest. If you want a little variation in your final resting pose and have your blocks, it can feel really nice under your thighs or knees, just to offer a bit of a different support. And then allow your hands just to fall softly to the side, palms up in this place of gentle surrender, this place of ease and rest. I just think of the last portion of that verse where he says that the Lord delights in kindness, and righteousness, justice in the earth. Maybe just take a moment to reflect, remember ways upon which you have seen the Lord show himself towards you or towards someone you know in these ways, with kindness, with righteousness or justice. Just sensing his delight in what is good. Just allow yourself to rest in this space, just recalling the Lord's goodness. God, we just thank you for the gift of communion with you, of moving and breathing and having our way in you. God, we thank you for this reminder that we don't need to boast in who we are. We don't need to perform or produce. We get to simply be. We get to simply enjoy our posture of being loved. God, would you help us find delight in the things that delight you, in goodness, kindness, in justice, and righteousness, that we may be more like you, that we may experience peace and goodness on this earth, that we may be conduits of blessing for others. God, we thank you for the ways you strengthen our bodies, the ways you equip us to go about our days. And so I just ask such a blessing on each one here, Lord, that they would experience that to the full. And we just give you thanks. And we love you. Amen. Just going to leave you in this space. Please take your time and transition slowly when you're ready. And thank you so much for joining me. Have a beautiful rest of your day.